What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 2 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Tamurkhan the Maggot Lord Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, a reasonably strong start for our faction with a little bit of wild goose chase as we chased around some Norskins, ended in an epic battle against Kolek to bring him down. At the end of the day, however, the Maggot Lord was victorious. Too bad we couldn't infest Kolek's body, though. I would imagine that while an ogre tyrant is fine, the body of the mountain god would be just a teensy bit better for Tamurkhan. But anyway, we'll have to deal with what we got. Now, in terms of what we got to do this time around, I guess we're heading down through the mountains. I mean, we do have to get to Nuln for our final sort of quest thing, but that's a heck of a trek across the world, and we do still have to wipe out Grimgor's Boys and Goldtooth. Besides, walking all the way down to Goldtooth means also at the same time finding Kugath, and well, that'll be a quick little, hopefully, confederation with him. Hopefully he's weak enough to confederate, and it isn't a holdout. And of course, same thing for Epidemius, but we're going to send a hero after him. Anyway, let us see what we are gonna do. I guess we're gonna head down to fight these guys. They, funnily enough, kind of like us, but they occupy territory that's kind of directly in our way, though I suppose the mountainous terrain here isn't actually terrain that we particularly like, being yellow terrain, rather than the Chaos Waste terrain, which we do. And it would be nice to head up here and destroy Archie and all the other stuff, but once again, I still feel like we gotta move down this way. So we'll be taking this stuff, and I suppose we could always trade some territories to, for example, the Chaos Dwarfs, if needed. Anyway, both of you head on down, and we'll hit Blizzard Peak first, because it's close by, and then follow it up with Ice Spewer. Now, one problem is we don't currently have military buildings. We're waiting for the growth to do its thing so that we can build them. But until then, we may need to rely on the dominance and acquire some more of these guys, maybe more Rot Knights. Unfortunately, at 4 dominance, that would prevent us from getting our next unique chieftains soon, which is a bit unfortunate as well. I have to think about that one. We'll see. For now, though, let's end the turn and let's proceed end the turn. And let's see if anybody suddenly declares war on us. Also, in the meantime, while the turn is ending, as usual with the campaigns on this channel, we're going to be doing a threshold, an engagement threshold, thing to determine the daily episode length. Now, personally, I took vacation for Thrones of Decay. In fact, I did a lot of overtime so that I had time to do all these campaigns at once. And while I may have time to run multiple campaigns, it doesn't mean everybody else does. Everybody's got work and school and whatnot. So I'm going to make the likes and comments threshold a little bit lower than I normally would for these campaigns. And, well, we'll see what we can see. Plus, we have the Shadow Channel now, so that exists as needed to be transferring campaigns that don't do well, though it's probably way too early to be thinking about that. Anyway, if this episode gets 400 likes and 60 comments, the next episode will be an hour long. Now, we need to construct a cyclical building for this mission, a little bit of infections, a little bit of favor. As somebody commented in the last episode, apparently there's a bug with battles where we cannot get... let's see here, where we cannot get more than some specific number of infections, and ooh, Exquisite Pain was destroyed. Was this by Archie? That's kind of concerning. I don't like factions dying up here because Epidemius is up there. Nurgle corruption is still going strong at the Tower Flies and Bilious Cliffs, but we definitely need to send a hero up there ASAP. A concern is real. I see some Beastmen over here, but that's not our concern. Let's declare war on Blizzard Peak, who are currently not at war with anybody, or the Saberskin. No, this is the Tusk Sons. Orcs. Oh, Saberskin should be here. Okay, maybe they're down here. We'll see in a second. Declare war, please. And obviously, this is not worth fighting. Let's hope it doesn't do too much damage. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's fine. We will occupy the place. You know what I should have done? In fact, you know what? Sack this. We'll have you occupy it. Hey, another Nurglish merchant. Wait, we need these Nurglish merchants on everybody. Nurglish merchant for you, leper lord on you as well, I guess. And, wait, can heroes hold leper lords? Ooh, hello, Dawnstone, yes please. We're gonna, okay, well, just give me a second here. You get Dawnstone, Tamurkhan, you're a big old target. You have the Nurglish Zealot and the Nurglish Lord, alright, or the leper lord, rather, which, to be fair, is a kind of Nurglish Lord. Let's take the Sword of Battle and the Sword of Swift Slaying and pop them into a better item and see what we can get. An Armor of Fortune. Very, very nice. Alright, Tamurkhan. That was lucky. Alright. And now he's got plenty of physical resist. You have the Icon of Decay and the Sword of Filth. But you can have glittering scales to debuff everybody around you. And I guess the Fencer's Blades is going to go to you, because you're going to need the extra melee defense if you get into combat a little more. We're now up at 5 out of 7 dominance, which is great. You're going to occupy Blizzard Peak. And I'm going to hope this Beastmen tribe doesn't instantly attack and kill you. In fact, wait. Stay outside of there just in case. We're going to repair these. Oh, wow, they're expensive to repair. You know what? Don't collect the income and... Well, I guess they'll pay for themselves. Yeah, we'll want to upgrade them anyway. We gotta be careful with our cash. And then Tamurkhan. I'm hoping that we can reach us. You know what? It's gonna hurt our healing. We're gonna head out here just to make sure that we can get to Ice Pure in a single move. Plus, we're near level 12, so the unique tree, skill tree of Tamurkhan's is almost ours. Upgrades. We need military buildings, as we cannot recruit any troops as yet. You guys are feeling... a moment. Can we get you to join war against the Tusked Sons? Minus 0.6 at 1.4k. You know what? I know it's not a great investment, but it might be eventually. So we're gonna do this. And keep them a little bit friendlier with us, especially as we do damage to the Tusked Sons. And then hopefully that'll allow us to essentially ally with them. Now, Village is a bit of a problem because we don't like him, as Nurgle and Tzeentch are kinda opposed in the way that Khorne and Slaanesh are. So we'll see whether Village attacks us, but I kind of don't want to go all the way down to Village and distract ourselves with this and with Cathay all that much. We've got ogres to kill, we've got to head to Nuln, burn down the Empire and stuff. We got things to do is what I'm getting at. Oh. Okay, I can't say I was expecting that. I wanted to go for Ice Spewer, but I think with this little Beastmen army right here, we should probably take the opportunity to destroy it. Alright, fair enough. Capture many provinces. I wouldn't call 3 many, but sure, and that'll give us a Talisman of Endurance, which is nice. Alright, and ooh. Passive ability regeneration, Vile Seed, and all we have to do is research 8 techs, and we get a Forbidden Rod. Some nice items as rewards for these ones. Okay, these are not like lore bits, they're just instructions essentially, so we're gonna ignore those. Now, we have heroes available. The Plague Ridden and the Chaos Sorcerer. We're gonna grab a Okay, there's no Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle available yet. We'll take the Plague Ridden. It doesn't really matter which one. Let's say you. Blistrican Glenautical. Oh! Oh, damn. These guys also have buffs for Plague Bearers. You know what? I'm gonna take you instead. And we're gonna send you to find Mr. Epidemius, but at the same time, we're going to have this guy come back and join Slug Blister's army. He's gonna be leading our Plague Bearer army. This army's gonna have like a dozen Plague Bearers at least, and thus we'll have Plague Ridden that buff them up here as well. Anyway, let's level up, speaking of, these guys, or we could keep saving for their unique trees. Ooh, faster and harder though. Let's get faster and harder. Slaanesh approved. And we'll keep the rest of this, because this applies to everything. It's charge bonus and speed to everything, and will work for quite well for ogres just as well as rot knights. We'll get this as well, and that's what we'll save for. You have your own unique tree. You need level 10, but you only need 3 points. Yeah, okay, we'll save your points for that. Alright, hopefully these beastmen will give us levels here. Non-aggression pact, no, sorry Goros, but we can't have you raiding our territory. It's just an annoying aspect of the Beastmen, you just can't leave them alive. What do you want? You have Stream of Corruption, you have Curse of the Leper, we still need to get to Fleshy Abundance ASAP with you. I'm gonna say go for Stream, I guess. Yeah, alright. Attack. Alright, and 2 more battles, and oh, they're actually going to directly fight us. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, 2 more battles and we'll be able to get our next chieftain. Now let's fight this. There are some Minotaurs to contend with, which are tier 3 units. Should be fun.
You are tools of my ascension, so fight well, for if I fall, I will drag you down too.
Alrighty, here we go. Wasn't expecting suddenly Beastmen, but hey, pleasantly surprised. Any additional variety for our battles is going to be a nice thing to have. Anyway, we've got our reinforcements arriving from the other side. I really wasn't expecting this army to just turn and fight rather than run. The AI obviously does have a tendency to be kind of cowardly after all. So this is kind of interesting. And we'll see whether the enemy goes after our reinforcing lord or whether it allows us to use him to hit them in the back. But either way, this does necessitate us charging towards the enemy rather than trying to get them to attack us. And we're going to engage pretty much immediately. The Rot Knights will lead by charging directly at the enemy Chaos Warhounds. They're not going to be particularly threatening to them, but there's a lot of Ungors and those Minotaurs nearby who can engage with the Rot Knights quickly if we let them. So, and do the damage that you can, but mostly distract the enemy while the rest of our army moves in. In addition, this is looking like it's liable to be the biggest blob of enemies, so we're going to pop our Nurglings from the sky bombardment, dishing out heavy damage to 2 of the enemy Ungors, and getting rid of those anti-large spears to keep the Rot Knights a little bit safer. Our reinforcements have arrived, but it looks like our gambit paid off, and with the Rot Knights engaging the enemy, it looks like they are too busy to pay attention to the Herald of Nurgle. This means the Herald of Nurgle can cast, and will immediately start out by popping that Curse of the Leper upgraded on the Rot Knights, who are embroiled in a fight and against lots and lots of enemy units at the same time. And the additional armor as well as melee damage reflection is going to keep them surviving longer and dishing out additional damage. Oh, it looks like somebody's texture is having issues. I wonder whose texture that is. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, it's probably one of the, I would imagine it's one of the chieftains, probably something that'll get fixed in the main build as opposed to the, this build, whatever, the early access build, whatever. Anyway, the rest of our army has moved in, the Plague Toads bypassing the enemy Minotaurs for obvious reasons, as they would otherwise get ripped apart by them, but can freely go after the Ungor Raiders and keep them not firing. We've got Nurglings working together with Plague Ogres to charge more blobs of spears, and I suppose a bombardment would have worked here as well, but I still think it was more important to keep the Rot Knights relatively safe. We've kept a Khazak the Befouled for once away from our formation of Rot Knights. While he normally leads them, he's also pretty good at assassinating enemy lords and has gone after the enemy lord here, and will continue to give chase. Certainly don't want the enemy lord casting anything, or at least not much longer. And with Khazak's debuff and heroic killing blow, he hits pretty darn hard already with 74 melee attack and 804 or whatever weapon strength when buffed. Anyway, the Beastmen are kind of looking tinged yellowish greenish, which is kind of making them blend into our own army. So perhaps they should have joined us instead of fighting against us, especially as we have our own Pestigors somewhere on the field. In fact, I think we sent the Pestigors to try to hunt down one of the enemy Minotaurs. Back here, looks like one of the enemy Minotaurs did peel away to join the attack, or not join the attack, but to attack Slug Blister. Huh. Maybe the textures on one of the Minotaur units is broken. Wonder why. I don't recall the Minotaur textures having any kind of issue. But once again, it's probably this particular build that's doing it. Regardless, the battle is nearly ours as the balance of power shifts to about 90% in our favor. The enemy's leftmost flank that the Rock Knights did distract and lead our forces to has been overrun, though our Plague Ogres have suffered a little bit of damage, suffering 2 units lost, though killing plenty as they did. And now it's just a matter of time of overrunning those Ungor Spears that remain with the charge of the Plague Toads into their back lines, and with Kazakh having chased off or killed the enemy lord back here, it looks like the battle is ours. Lovely. And yes, it is necessary to chase them down as best we can. I'm not sure that they'll get destroyed, but at the same time, it's not going to take too long. A and B, they get off the field pretty much immediately, as this is a underway or beast path battle. All right, there we go. We got our level 12. Fantastic. And you know, I was pleasantly surprised by Mr. Slugblister Utterblight over here. I thought that the Plague-ridden / Herald of Nurgle would get obliterated, being surrounded by minotaurs in the way that it did, but between the Miasm of Pestilence and the Curse of the Leper, it looks like it was more than capable of handling itself, or at the very least, surviving while it kept those units out of the fight and allowed us to overrun the rest of the enemy army. And yeah, it looks like it's 37 infections that we're stuck on, but that's alright. We could heal up a little bit. You know what? I think we're actually going to take the money. The reason being that we're about to spend a lot. And hey, a Forbidden Rod. Damn, we're getting some solid items. And Slugblister has the Palanquin, and we've got the Demon Spew Forsaken. Now, the Demon Spew Forsaken are earmarked, let's say, to join a particular army, but we'll put them into our own army for now. So, too bad that army that we just destroyed didn't survive for us to kill again, because we would have gotten enough dominance, but whatever. Anyway, this will allow us to march forward. Like so. Slugblister, you can, I guess, channel. No, you should still probably heal up. Like so. Anyway, what I was saying was, for those of you who didn't follow the Archaon campaign, Gulator Halfspawn is one of the legendary characters that is part of the community canon on this channel, and will be leading our Spawn and Forsaken army. He's a Sorcerer Lord, and we'll just have to get one with a good trait. If you're wondering why I didn't save the... Oh. Iron Skin, eh? That's tempting. If you're wondering why I didn't take the save the character, mostly because I feel like it's a little bit overpowered, and it's fine, we just restart him. Anyway, a Reputed Son of the Kurgan gives us casualty punishment trait for non-demonic units. Ferocious Maggot, basically an increase to his battle prowess. Regeneration, meaning we won't need that regeneration item. Puppet Tyrant gives us Plague Ogre buffs and cause terror for Plague Ogres, and of course, we'll need to properly build plenty. Lumbering Horror gives us Unbreakable for all Toad Dragons and Unspeakable Foulness for Toad Dragon units faction-wide, which is great, but as we don't currently yet have Toad Dragons, it isn't too useful to us. What is, however, is Master of Hosts. The additional gold that we get from the upkeep reduction combined with Blessed by Blight is going to be a real swell. Let's also grab a Relentless Pursuer with the additional speed that it offers, in combination with the speed offered by Kazakh's Faster and Harder. Will mean that this will be an awfully fast Nurglite army, and of course it won't have the Plague Bearers to slow it down later on. Kitsak Fimdirach are now level 10, which means we can get from the swamps to get us the additional Norska and Diplomacy. And the horrible regeneration and regular regeneration is all fantastic, but we don't have any of these units as yet, though we will. So for now we'll get Cutting Power. And, it gives us another bound Penumbral Pendulum. So free Penumbral Pendulum, and a cooldown and wins a magic reduced cost. So this guy really likes spamming those pendulums, which is appropriate, because it was the spell we maxed out in the first place. Alright, the rest of that looks good. Let's double check buildings, which we have none of. And wait. Moment. Alright, I had to double check that. I couldn't remember if it was this turn or last turn that we checked that, so... yeah, for now we're okay. Skip, and turn. Let's head to Ice Spewer. Or perhaps fight these guys if they decide to attack us. Though somehow I doubt it. Ah, damn, Grimgor's Ardboys is a lot stronger than us. Looking at the balance of power, the way we were like 10% or 15% compared to them. That means we're probably going to get some great fights against the orcs in the near future. Lovely, so this was the right way to go, because it'll give us good fights. Cult manifests in the Bilious Cliffs. That's quite far... Huh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. We got the cult to identify epidemias for us. And wait, what's the likelihood of confetting right now? Not a lot. He does have 2 settlements, though, and he has decent balance of power. But that's fantastic. We don't have to send the hero up there and can join him to the, to Slug Blister. And yes, Epidemius also buffs Plague Bearers, but who knows at what point we'll get him. So, let's deal with what we got for now. Anyway, building time first, battle time second. Let's upgrade... Yeah, let's upgrade the Cultist Marble thing. And we could go straight for money, we could go straight for growth, or we could finally get our first military building. We could build a military building here. We have... I'm always tempted by growth because it's sort of looking towards the future. Money is decent as well. We could do a temporary military building just to summon some stuff, though we don't have infections for them as yet anyway. Yeah, we're gonna need to start taking some more infections, aren't we? Alright, fine. In the meantime, then we will go for the growth. And grow everything, money up, and hopefully we can deal with what we've got. As in the units that we've currently got. Let's also double check whether a Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle is ready to join. One with Iron Skin as well. Yes, please. Alright, beautiful. Uzul. No. Okay, there can't be that many. Okay, there's actually 2, but there can't be that many actual characters named Uzul. Come on now. Also, Archie's gonna be pissed about this. Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Ooh. I'm a little bit wary of losing the Iron Skin one, but I also don't want to spend too much money on these guys. On the other hand, we would be leeching XP, which ain't too bad. Yeah, you know what, let's get the Chaos Sorcerer Lord up and running immediately. Here. Despite the cost. And leech XP, and then we'll send them up north as needed. Alright, try not to immediately die. Also, how are you doing? -4 now. If we join your war against the Celestial Loyalists, we could pay you 3,000. Okay, no, not yet. It'll happen, though. I'm sure it'll happen. And if he starts fighting Village, we'll help him out. Tamurkhan. To Ice Spewer ye shall go. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have summoned this guy here at Ice Spewer after taking it, but whatever. All good. You here? Now one more battle, one more dominance required, and we're just about to get it. Let's move you in. Let's take a quick look at the items, just in case there's a little bit of fanciness to do with that. So Forbidden Rod is pretty good on a Herald of Nurgle, I gotta say, because it'll heal itself. We will also ancillaries. Nurglish Zealot, we don't need you. I want to check the Leper Hero. Yeah, Nurglish Mutant, there we go. Alright, more Diplo with the Nurglish factions. Then... we have Sword of Striking. We don't want to get rid of the Plague Flail because I like it, and yeah, no. Keep the Plague Flail, keep the Fencer's Blades. We'll delete the Sword of Striking into something better, but we don't necessarily need to do it right now, and B, well, we can't. I spam Curse of the Leper, but I think Fleshy Abundance has to take priority, so we'll move towards Fleshy Abundance first, and I believe that's it. Let's do a battle. Pyrrhic Victory, medium casualties, lots of orcs, plus their towers, plus their range units behind hordes of gobos, but I'm sure we'll handle ourselves just fine. Go.
Remember, a festering wound is as valuable to father as a fresh corpse.
Alrighty, here we go again, and that is a lot of orcs and gobos who have sallied out against us. Hopefully we can cast spells into big old blobs of them, but we do have to be careful. They may be weak and they may be expendable, but the gobos are still a threat to some of our weaker units. And, well, whenever playing a demon-centric faction, though of course the army of Tamurkhan will probably have primarily mortals in it, you gotta be wary of demons crumbling away, or I kept them. I've played vampire counts too much. Whatever the being banished, that's it, that's the one. Anyway, we're going to wait for our friendly little Herald of Nurgle to arrive on the field. He has spells aplenty as well as a forbidden rod, and now is on that Nurglish palanquin as well. So that should be quite nice for us. He'll be able to boost our lines whenever he actually 100% spell mastery. Whenever he reaches our lines, he still moves at 29 speed, and thus best kept with those slow-moving demon units, but oh well. Anyway, we're gonna give him a little bit of time. We also have deployed or hidden our cavalry, the toads and the chariots, the more fragile units in this copse of wood that are going to hopefully hit the back line of enemy goblin archers, and then of course our rot knights led by Kazak and the other little cups. That's probably going to go after the enemy orc war boss, or possibly just charge the enemy in the back lines. It doesn't really matter. Now, since we've taken a pretty darn good position, we got impassable terrain as well as elevation plus a river for the enemy to cross, we're going to do our best to kick the anthill / annoy the enemy army into coming towards us. Plus, this will help us force them to blob up for spells. So, the name of the game is drop spells on their lines until they are sufficiently annoyed enough to try and go after us. They're not in a perfect line, so this will prevent us from doing damage to more than 2 units at once, which is a little bit of a waste when Penumbral Pendulum and such is concerned, but hopefully we'll still be able to dish out enough damage. Anyway, speed this up a little bit. We're going to send the Herald of Nurgle forth, mostly because it's cheaper to cast the Stream of Corruption than it is to repeatedly cast Penumbral Pendulum with Ketsak, and plus the cooldown is lower on the stream. There we go. And dishing out a little bit of damage to the goblins and clipping about half of the unit of orc boys seems to be enough. Not a single orc boy has been killed, and 18 units of gobos have been killed. So really not that much damage at all, but the purpose has been served. The anthill, the gob hill, whatever, has been kicked, and they head towards us, where we will stand and deliver their deaths. Anyway, ooh. This lighting is also working for me as well, so I'm expecting quite the nice fight. Alright, they're gonna ford that river. Too bad we don't have any artillery, such as soul grinders, to gun the enemy down as they cross, but that's alright. Alright, let's speed this up a teensy bit more, and oh, hello, looks like the enemy will charge forth a unit of goblin wolf raiders towards our palanquin riding herald to keep him in place. Interesting move on their part. We're gonna send Tamurkhan himself in to bail Slug Blister out. I'm Slug Blister, right? Yes. Alright, well, fortunately, Tamurkhan should be able to make mincemeat of the poor little wolf riders real quick. He is going to take some arrows, but he has enough resistances to not be able to suffer too much from that, and I imagine that's a lot of friendly fire from the gobos, though goblin archers are a lot more accurate than orc archers are, so they'll be a little bit better at sniping things. Anyway, it looks like the enemy lord has moved in to fight Tamurkhan. That's what we wanted anyway, so perhaps it's a good idea to generally send Tamurkhan in and away from the line just to get his fights going. But the rest of the enemy army is moving in. We got Plague Bearers and Nurglings working together to hold back the enemy tide here. Gonna charge the Chaos Warriors down, but we have to make sure that we maintain enough of a sort of battle line such that the enemy is too blobbed up to avoid lots of spell work. And by the looks of it, it is working. We're going to overcast the Penumbral Pendulum just to dish out additional damage. Probably not going to make that much of a difference, but at the end of the day, all of the enemy Goblin Archers have moved together to try to attack us, and thus they will suffer together as the Penumbral Pendulum moves through their lines in such better fashion than it did when the enemy was blobbed up and waiting to move towards us. That's Penumbral Pendulum 1, but we got more where that came from as Penumbral Pendulum 2. The bound Penumbral Pendulum will follow the actual cast one. We've got the streams of corruption moving through the enemy Goblin lines as they are held back by the heavily armored Chaos Warriors, and the battle is so far going pretty well our way. The bounce power is about 80% in our favor, and we drop that bombardment army bound ability on the enemies on the rightmost flank, led by the enemy's second lord, killing 3 or completely destroying 3 of the enemy goblins, heavily damaging the orc boys and clearing the rightmost flank out. Tamurkhan has almost defeated the enemy lord, and frankly most of the enemy units surrounding said enemy lord have fallen. The enemy does activate its Wa ability, giving every unit a massive increase to melee attack and damage. And the immunity to psychology against demonic factions should be pretty darn useful as well. That's an Orky Wa for you. And it looks like some of the Gobos are managing to drop those Plague Bearers. I mean, these are regular Plague Bearers after all, not exalted, so they're going to still be relatively weak, if useful. And just so slow. Textures of the puke all over the ground are going a little bit nuts, but, well, I suppose it won't matter all that much. Kazak has found and killed off the enemy lord that ran from Tamurkhan, and now it's just a simple matter of grinding down the rest of the Gobos. Looks like this strategy paid off quite nicely. And as we don't yet have a War Shrine of Nurgle, and as we don't yet have a access to Fleshy Abundance, there's no real purpose to doing a Death Star formation, so this sort of front-line formation will work quite well for us instead. Especially as we have access to that Penumbral Pendulum and such for now. I'm not sure I'm going to keep the Fimir in this particular army, as I definitely want a Fimir-centric army as well, but for now, while they're here, we got to make use of them. Anyway, we are going to give chase, mostly just because I wanted Tamurkhan to kill off that little enemy lord. And the reason for that being because that lord, that was the second lord, and that lord was outside of the enemy settlement, and if he hadn't died, he would have backed off, and I don't think we had the range to reach him, and thus, well, he might have sieged us or annoyed us in general, though I suppose that would have given us dominance on the other hand. Not sure. Either way, great fight. Alright, very nice indeed. I was thinking that would go worse than it would, or than it did, but if I did have to play that again, I think I wouldn't keep the cavalry back for as long as I did. They ended up not really contributing, or at the very least the very slow Plague Toads didn't really end up contributing, and not so much for the Chaos Chariots either. The Rot Knights were fast enough to get into combat and dish out some massive damage real quick, and in fact still, despite being kept back, managed to outkill almost everybody. But at the end of the day, this battle was won by the casters. A, for forcing the enemy to engage with us where we had the high ground, and B, because, well, 32k damage and 277 kills on you, and 22k and 148 kills on you, and that also with the Children of Nurgle heals. Nice. Alright, we are going to obviously occupy the place, which puts us up to 7 dominance. Well, isn't that lovely? Tusk Sons destroyed. A gift for Grandfather. Capture it. Yes, we have. Win 10 battles with any single hero character. Should be easy enough. And hey, yeah, these things have infection rewards, which are nice. Speaking of hero characters, and with our 7 dominance, and we're going to recruit this fella, Mournhowl. Let's go with Mournhowl. Defeating Lizardmen, Ogres, Beastmen, and our Chaos Dwarves. Well, we just defeated Ogres and Beastmen a bunch of times, but, well, we'll be defeating Ogres some more if the Saberskin are alive, and I'm sure there will be other Ogre factions, so yes. You, sir. Alright, no time for the skin wolves yet, mostly because they don't want to spend dominance as yet, but we will. Let's give this a read. Mournhowl joins your cause. The tight bonds among a pack of weirkin are severed only in death, leaving scars that never truly heal. Such are the wounds of Mournhowl, a ferocious and tragic figure among his tribe, who after the brutal slaughter of his kin, now lets his grief echo through the night. With much of his tribe devoured by a giant jabberslave named Skrailsbane, driven to madness and tainted by the winds of magic, Mournhowl alone leads the survivors in their quest for vengeance. With violent retribution in his heart, his powerful form stalks the land, vowing never to rest until the blood of his pack has finally been avenged. Well, that's just sad. Alrighty. Oh well. Mournhowl has pledged his fealty, attributes stock during ambushes for the army, ambush success chance, and ambush defense chance. And he can join the army immediately. Our main army to start off. And oh! The chieftains don't cost, that's interesting. Chieftains do not actually cost any upkeep. I was not expecting that. But I'm pleasantly surprised by it. One man now beast pledged. Yeah, so this guy has some interesting aspects to him. His items enables frostbite attacks for lots and lots of different monstrous units, which is quite swell. And frostbite for hell cannons as well as dreadquakes, eh? That's surprising, huh? Frostbite for Infernal Guard. Ice and Fire, I guess. And what do you have here? Ooh, we're gonna have to choose between Twisted Flesh and Vicious Assault. And 23 armor into 23 armor and 10% missile resistance. Quite valuable for Nurgle, I should think. Versus 12 melee attack and 40% charge bonus. The effect area is rather small for both of them, though. I mean, when attacking with his pack, this is quite a bit of an extra charge bonus and stuff. Damn, I'm not sure which one I like more. 23, are we able to get armored weirkin or only regular weirkin? Because the regular weirkin have no armor, and thus, well, the additional armor could certainly help them out. Or not weirkin, the skin wolves, rather. Yeah, we get the unarmored variety. I will certainly have to give that one some thought. Anyway, you're going to join Tamurkhan's army for now without additional cost, which is lovely. And yes, Saberskin are still here. Beautiful. And we'll attack them. Why are you suffering attrition? Oh, they have no food. Unfortunate for them. Anyway, let's take a look at what we have here. Clan Ferric still wants to ally, but otherwise we're looking good. These guys do like us and will continue to like us more as we get more of those Nurglite ancillaries. And I believe we're good for this turn. Yes, nothing to build, nothing to do. Path to the east. Let's start collecting income here because we're gonna need it. And now we're good. Yes? Yes. Alright, skip. Cult something. Oh. So, 500 when growth is more than 200. Does this help us in it? Oh, the infections per turn. When any lord is present. I take it that doesn't mean our own lord because I just don't remember. Decent likelihood that the Lord will always be present. Also, is it present in this... It just says when any Lord is present. I wish I knew if it was in the province or in the settlement. I imagine it's settlement. You know, let's not risk it. Let's just go 5 infections per turn. It's just safer, because as soon as this guy leaves, then... we need the infections per turn. Anyway, good job, Cult. End turn. And let's see about Saber Mountain. Do have to watch out for Grimgore declaring war on us, and we will also want to keep an eye on Zatan. It would be lovely if he could protect our flank for us, though. Archie. Alright, that was always going to happen. Declares war on us. Man, maybe I should have moved north instead. And hello, Groth. Well, you're here. Alright, yeah, we're liable to lose a territory or two to Arch. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. You are going to move out here. I need you to identify an enemy army that approaches, because I'm sure an army will indeed approach. Erlf. We'll probably do so. What do we have here at the Gallows Tree? Not much in the way of defenders. I was going to send Uzul southward, but I think we'll keep him here for as soon as an enemy army arrives. We'll have Uzul essentially react to it. I think then we destroy the Saberskin, ignore Grimgor until he declares war on us directly, and march north for a little bit. It'll mean a little bit of backtracking, unfortunately. Though I didn't want to do that. We can't really build another army as yet. Yeah, probably shouldn't have used those infections for plagues. Gone instead with some basic military buildings at least. 360, 360, and 180, eh? Well, 180 we can do. We just need one more battle, essentially. We can take the reward for this particular battle for it. And this one has Forsaken, so we can start Gulator on his road to Spawn. And Forsaken... Oh, Spawn and Forsaken are not in the same tree? That's a little weird. You'd expect them to be in the same tree. Oh, this one has Bile Trolls, though. And don't care for Plague Toads, but... We got Chaos Warriors and Forsaken in this one, though I'm still inclined to say this was the one that we do. But anyway, first things first, we actually got to get to those. Recruit an additional Lord. We already... Okay. That'll immediately get us the requisite infections, but it'll take a little bit of effort. Alright, fine. Or a little bit of money. Let's do this. First of all, diplomacy. I need to double-check the War Host of Jar. Still disinclined, eh? They are still at war with the Celestial Loyalists. Join war against them. Minus 2.8. Yeah, no, I'm not paying that. Maybe we should just declare war on them anyway. They'll maybe like us more because of it. I mean, it is rising. You know what, let's give them a little bit of time. I hope the Celestial Loyalists just don't get destroyed, which means that we won't be able to take advantage of it. But anyway, Tamurkhan, you are going to attack Mr. Groth here. And... wait, how much would it cost to get another Lord up and running? Completely necessarily. Let's see if there's one whose traits we like. This guy's got Disciplined. Repellent gives you melee defense and expert charge defense, but only for you. Dark Fury and Iron Skin. You have Iron Skin, yes? Yeah, similar sort of thing. Alright, so you, sir, are going up this way. And I just want to check one thing. Wait, first challenge stone... let me see here. Alright, so yeah, you do have Vile Enchanter and Corrupt Mage and stuff. I have a tendency to get confused. Oh, you get Rot Beast mounts too? I have a tendency to get confused as to what's from SFO and what's from vanilla, so I always have to check these things. Anyway, Iron Skin will be nice when you're on your Chaos War Shrine, since you're going to be a big old target on that. Anyway, at the cost of 1,000 gold, we're going to get another Lord up and running. It'll be another Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and we'll delete him immediately, I think. Ooh, Scaled Skin is good for this as well. You know what? Let's get you. We'll put you in the Gallows Tree. Temporarily. Like so. And you can just sit here. This gives us the infections, and if Archie comes by, we'll have to deal with him. At the Challenge Stone, we will start on you, Rancid Aloe Seedling, and then hopefully that'll enable us to get stuff up and running ASAP, as in military stuff. Alright, because, yeah, we can't build anything. Alright, and now it's time to fight once more. Slug Blister, you're slow, and I guess you're going to keep on following Tamurkhan around and gaining XP and getting ready for your own army. Plus, since you can cast Fleshy Abundance for him, that'll be swell. At least until he has a caster of his own. Next up, Tamurkhan, we can get... probably... is it time to start moving through these things? This will buff Bile Trolls, Toad Dragons, and Beasts of Nurgle. And War Shrines. I guess we gotta go through this one. But once again, I'm not a huge fan of this. But we're definitely gonna get Plague Ogres in this army. Does this buff Pestigores as well? Yes, it does. And we could pop in Pestigores, though they're gonna be a little bit fragile due to their only 35 armor compared to the Chaos Warriors. This also buffs Chosen should we put them in this army. And this buffs Rot Knights. There's a lot of stuff to work through, eh? Also, what does Fetid Stench do? Leadership reduction -8, and then Pestilent Decay. Another area Mortis Engine effect, eh? I do like that. I do like that quite a lot. Do we ignore then the red line in favor of this? I mean, physical resistance is great, but once again, we don't have a lot of these guys. And since we don't have a lot of them, it's not going to benefit us all that much. Fine, Infernal Champion for now. We're gonna get Tamurkhan to be a big fighter, I guess. Go figure. Alright, you. Not reached level 12 yet, so we'll keep on ignoring you. You, however, can get Baleful nothing. Let's get your replenished troops as well. We still don't have any of these units who could take advantage of that ability. And then a Mornhowl. We got any spare stuff for you? Let's give you Armor of Silvered Steel, I guess. Get you a little bit of that extra armor, and that's the only thing we have. No ancillaries and nothing else, but we can see you in combat. You. At war with the Disciples of Hashut. Don't we have to wait, do we have to destroy the Disciples of Hashut, or am I thinking of Elspeth? Grimgor, Goldtooth... No. Okay, no, we're fine. Hopefully they'll like us a little bit. Declare war. Yes. And away you go. Yeah, I think the reason that, or a reason factions are going to be a little bit likely to declare war on us is because we lack military troops at the current time. So I think rather than getting the next chieftain, we'll grab the additional Rot Knight just to power ourselves up a little bit more with the additional unit, and then proceed. Also, leveling on Tamurkhan will give us additional units, so the Barons of the Bog Pox Riders will be available next level, yes? Yes. Alright, attack. Oh, this guy's here. Aye, no. Oh, he's gonna capture this, isn't he? This is rude. I didn't want to declare war on you. Maybe we can trade a territory for it. I mean, there's a mountainous territory. But I think we want to keep the place. Especially since we're generating decent cash out of it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Yep. Fight some ogres, would you? Decisive victory, and oh, this army is damaged. I think it was actually probably running from the Chaos Dwarves. Well, it runs right into the loving embrace of the Grandfather. Go.
The battlefield is where I grow stronger. I will make them corpses!
Ah, the battlefield is where I grow stronger. Haven't heard that speech as yet. I wonder if we've heard them all now, or there are more to come. And I'm interested in hearing Tamurkhan's quest battle speech, which we'll hopefully get to sooner rather than later. Ooh, I didn't notice the little mini tentacle coming out of the horn here. Nice. Anyway, here we go. I'm loving the fact that we're getting some variety in this episode. First Beastmen, then Greenskins, and now Ogres for us to fight, and more variety is fantastic. And it's one of the reasons I've really enjoyed the Archaon campaign, because when playing the Chaos Warriors as opposed to the Monogod factions, you can build so darn many different types of armies on top of facing off against so darn many types of foes, especially since we're going for world conquest in that campaign. Anyway, the Rot Knights and Tamurkhan will lead the charge as they do, facing off against the enemy ogres. We are anti-large on the Rot Knights, of course, so they should be pretty darn effective at this. And we will pop the Sword of Filth debuff on the enemy ogre bulls just to make sure that the Rot Knights don't get too heavily damaged. Really want to get a second unit in this army ASAP, as, well, they've been pretty instrumental to every victory. And being as effective as they are, though I still really do want to compare them to the to Chaos Knights and see how they perform. Anyway, the Penumbral Pendulums come down. Not going to do anything crazy to the Ogres, but they do clip some Noblars, totally not Goblins here, and take about half of their HP off. The main enemy line is being overrun, however, the enemy did also send a little flanking force, which we did meet in the trees. The reason we met them in the trees is because we have our Wyrkin chieftain here, Mornhowl, who's gonna be feeling right at home and working on the enemy, I keep wanting to say trolls, ogres, while leading the Pestigors. Pestigors' armor piercing is gonna be wasted here against the ogre bulls, unfortunately. And we are going to have to be careful of them, as they will start dropping in their HP fairly quickly. Fortunately, I'm sure Mornhowl can handle quite a few of these ogres by themselves, and on top of it, I take it that the ogres will suffer the, they don't have Strider, so they will suffer the debuffs from being in the woods. And they don't have the wood buff either. Alright, and looks like the enemy army, the main portion of their host is in pretty bad shape. Just saw that ogre and drop right before Tamurkhan. Not even sure Tamurkhan was the cause of that. Oh, it could be the Mortis engine effect he's currently using. Over in the background, we're actually getting a little bit of use out of our Chaos Chariots of Nurgle, which reminds me, while I used to not really like to build Chaos Chariots, I was really impressed with the Ogre, or not the Ogre. Everything's Ogre now. It's all Ogre now. What was I saying? I was really impressed with the Gore Beast Chariots of Khorne in the Archaon campaign as well. Now, granted, that could be because of SFO, but I used to not build the Gore Beast Chariots pretty much ever. So I'm kind of curious how the regular Chaos Chariots will perform in vanilla as well. One of the reasons I wanted to do all of these campaigns in vanilla rather than modded is because of all the reworks to these factions. It's nice to see how everything functions in vanilla with the additions to the campaigns and such. After all, we do get spoiled by SFO and all the additions. Sometimes it's really nice to see some of the older factions and some of the less popular factions that get reworks and updates and whatnot. Anyway, the Ogre army, well, it's truly all Ogre now for them as they collapse and get wrecked. An easy little battle for Tamurkhan and one of the quicker fights we've fought, but hardly surprising. They were running by the looks of it, and, well, they ran to their doom. Alright, easy enough, and, well, I guess we don't need the infections. Well, I mean, really we do, but on the other hand, we also need to build, other buildings. Gonna be a difficult choice for the next little while between the two options. I think we do have 20k money, but a single upgrade to a tier 3 costs 4k, and we currently need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 upgrades, which we really can't afford. But nonetheless, incubate captives, we need the infections right now. We'll also need to build the buildings that give us infections as well, which will hopefully work out. We got a potion of strength. That's probably better off not being on you, Mr. Slug Blister. We'll pop it onto, maybe not Tamurkhan, but I'll give it to you. You're always assassinating jerks. Alright, let's do that. And no new ancillaries, gotta keep checking that now. And it looks like Tamurkhan can in fact reach Saber Mountain, which is fantastic, because these guys were gonna take it otherwise. Hopefully Astragoth doesn't decide to immediately attack us after this, though if he does, it would be a pretty good fight. How does he feel about us? Not too bad. Want to join our war? No. I had to check. Alright, well, I'll resolve that in a second. I just want to... Okay, wait, there's two things to make sure. First of all, can you reach Saber Mountain? Yes. You can. I have no problem with leaving the Darklands to the Chaos Dwarfs. Are you willing to join the war against the Saberskin? No. I just wanted to see if we could get some free relationship with these guys, essentially, but it doesn't look like that's to be the case. Anyway, Tamurkhan, take this. Do we risk the auto-resolve and getting damaged? Because, I mean, it doesn't look like we'll get damaged. Though I could be wrong. Let's level you up just in case. Power up our auto-resolve just a teensy bit. Aura size, missile resistance, hates, Tzeentch doesn't do anything for us. We're so close to getting the best boy, the Toad Dragon. Let's get hard to hit for now. You will be dueling Astragoth if it comes down to it. Ultimate Riders gives you an area increase. You know what? Let's just skip that for this stuff. We were still gonna go for this. So what do we have here? Slaughter them all gives a massive power up to you personally. Same as self-preservation, same as relentless assault, and this gives us plague spreading. I think we'll power you up like this. And the charge and speed bonus doesn't matter nearly as much, mostly because it corrupted flesh, yes, and unbreakable also, yes. It doesn't matter nearly as much because he's always with the Rot Knight, so he doesn't really need to outspeed them so much, and he's already faster than them, so yeah. Alright, that looks good to me. Mournhowl, I did not level you up because I'm an idiot, and because I couldn't decide between these two things. But I guess we can get you hard to hit at least, because you're going to be in the thick of things. Then we can save the rest of your points to get you fueled by vengeance and even more speed for the army. It almost seems like every single chieftain buffs speed. Kind of interesting. Does the game trying to tell us to put all the chieftains in a single army, perhaps? Alright, that damages more than I would have liked, but what can you do? Occupy. And we'll see how Astrogoth feels about this. And, ooh, items. Items aplenty. And infections as well. Yes, for more military buildings. Beautiful. Saberskin destroyed. We'll build another military building at Plains of Zinbai once we can get it up to tier 3 over the next couple turns. No buildings to build other than that, right? Oh, actually, Saber Mountain. I lied. We do need growth here. We really do. So I think we're gonna still have to go growth rather than military. If we can remain friendly with Astrogoth, and just to double check once again. Minus 4.2. Ooh, I'm not willing to give him 8k to join a war against Archie, but that's not bad. 9k. And he doesn't have aversion to us, correct? Nope, he likes the actions against the Saberskin, so let's just hope he's not super opportunistic about this. I think the issue here is that Archaon may ask Astrogoth to join our war, which may not be so great for us. And we may want to avoid that. Oh yes, get Ritualistic Fury. I mean, we really do want to get Pit of Shades as well, but for now, Penumbral Pendulum will do, especially since you can spam it. Otherwise, I guess we are indeed going to go growth here. First, upgrade, and then we can do a military building. And we need to start building these infections buildings everywhere, especially as we want to plagueinate stuff, but at the cost of infections right now, it's starting to feel not worth it. Although, we can use plagues to get infections, right? Okay, I'll take a more comprehensive look at what each plague does here later on. For now, though, what chieftain options are available? Oh, we could cause attrition for enemy armies. I wonder if it counts armies that we're not directly at war with. What does it mean exactly by enemy armies in this particular case, is the question. Let's see about our next technology as well. Contagious Horde, I'd love to, but at infection cost, no. Magic item drop chance, diplomatic relations with Warriors of Chaos, yeah, you know what, let's get the early Diplo. Look, I like some of this military stuff, and ooh, more infantry speed, more speed. I'm loving all these speed upgrades that we're getting with Nurgle. Summon Plague Bearers available as well once we go through this tree. I mean, there's definitely some solid stuff here, but I think the relationship will help us out a lot in the early game, and it'll allow us to fight who we want to fight rather than being forced into fights that we may not necessarily want, so, yeah. Alright, Barbaros, oh right, we also have that, you know what? If this guy attacks us, we're gonna need all the help we can get. But on the other hand, if Archie attacks over there, we'll need to be able to summon an additional unit. I'm gonna risk not summoning it. Moment of truth, let's end the turn, let's see if Astrogoth decides to attack us or not. He will not. Okay, that was the right bet, and we just have to wait until he declares war on somebody, and then hopefully declare war on same faction. I see armies moving around there. Archie has arrived. Unfortunately, that random lord that we summoned is most likely dead, but we'll have to move Tamurkhan to meet him. Fine. Tamurkhan, you're done here, at least until Grimgor turns and declares war on you, so move to the north, and Slug Blister follows suit. And I guess Hudakai, since you cannot recruit yet, other than this, I guess you're... You know what? Stay here. We're gonna use you to recruit stuff. Alright, Archie. Can't hit the gallows tree within the next turn. This doesn't offer any defenses, just out of curiosity, though. It takes 4 turns to get the Festering Pit up and running, eh? Damn, I was hoping that we could do that in 1. Frankly, this territory, Plains of Zanbaijin is worth defending, but the Gallows Tree might not be. And I think what we'll do here is delete this building. Like so, to get the money back. We could also delete this building as well. It's just that we probably won't make it there in time. You can't stop armies, can you? Assault units, assassinate. What about you? You can't block army. Ooh, but the chance is so low you're most likely going to get... yeah, that's not going to happen. Alright, you guys stay here. If Archie can't reach us in one turn, that's fine. Tamurkhan's gonna need like 3 or 4 turns to get back there. Let's check diplomacy again. And I guess it'll be a couple of turn endings. Looks like Disciples of Kashut are liking us more, but they're not at war with anybody. Double check on that war declaration on Archie. 4.1 now. It's a little bit less likely, or a little bit more likely rather, but still no. What about you? 2.7 now. Still not willing to spend that cash though. Chimera Plateau and Dragon's Death. We have the 2 growth buildings, and I guess we can build another military structure here. We have the Forsaken structure here. I do want some of these Chaos Warhounds. They're easy and they're helpful. On the other hand, lots and lots of Nurglings and Plague Bearers, and we do have a Plague Bearer unit, but these guys are quite expensive as compared to some of the stuff we can get here. But nonetheless, I think I'm going to go with the Nurgling chain. I would prefer to get money right now, but I think we'll need to use this place to build a bunch of military stuff. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Anyway, I believe we're good to go now and see where Archie is going. Can't move our heroes or our lords, unfortunately, though you can do 2 things. Thing the first, go outside of the settlement and into channeling stance. Uzul, I guess you're going to stick around here. And we're probably going to send you to defend the plains of Zanbai-Jin. Which Archie can't take. Alright, skip, skip, skip. You know, I had a feeling that it would be better to turn immediately north after Kolak, but should have acted on it. Why do I fear success? Anyway, Archie is on the approach. Yeah, we'll let him take the gallows tree. Without defenses there, it's just not worth our time. If he goes for the plains of Zanbai-Jin, we'll be able to defend, and if he doesn't, we'll be able to... Okay, you guys. Don't bother blocking his army. Yeah, I should have deleted this and possibly this. Well, not abandoned the settlement, but gotten our money back for this. On the other hand, what if he doesn't take it? What if he just sacks it? Keep it there. You guys, get ready to join. You cannot actually reach this army, I'm 90% sure, and if I'm wrong, well, that'll... Well, sucks to be us then. March stance? Yeah, you're gonna take a bit of time to reach it. And Slug Blister, you're gonna keep following. You're gonna be Tamurkhan's follower for a little while, until you're ready to make your own army. None of you able to recruit? Alright, well, you know what? I think while I would love to fight Archie, it's probably going to be at least a few turns until we get to do so, so I'm going to call this episode here instead. We'll send Tamurkhan up to deal with him next time around, hopefully get diplomatic relations established with the various Chaos Dwarfs, who have towers of their own, and thus hopefully we'll be able to get access to additional units of theirs later. Plus, it kind of makes sense, and especially as we'll have access to a chieftain that will give us additional Chaos Dwarfs, and I believe there was an alliance between Tamurkhan and Drajuath as well, so this would also make sense. Get more Chaos Dwarf units as a separate little, as a separate army. Anyway, calling it here. Next time, Archie and our road up north. I guess we'll go for Boris Ursus and link up with these guys. Just gotta keep an eye out on that confederation. And don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the hour-long episode. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.